Hey there, welcome back to Breezy Sleepy Science. Tonight, we're drifting into one of the most hauntingly calm questions in all of science. If the universe is so big, where is everybody? Yeah, that one. The question that somehow manages to sound both philosophical and mildly terrifying, even though we're trying to fall asleep. So go ahead and get comfortable. Dim the lights. Maybe put your phone on silent, or at least turn off the notifications that keep reminding you you're late replying to someone from 3 days ago, because tonight, we're floating quietly through the Fermi Paradox, the greatest cosmic mystery that reminds us how beautifully, absurdly alone we might be. So, let's start with a little scene-setting. It's the early 1950s. A bunch of scientists are having lunch at Los Alamos National Laboratory, which, if you don't know, was basically the world's most overqualified cafeteria. Nuclear physicists everywhere, casually chatting about the possibilities of life beyond Earth. And somewhere between the coffee and the sandwiches, Italian-American physicist Enrico Fermi just blurts out the question that would haunt cosmologists for decades. But where is everybody? It's such a simple question, right? And yet, it's the cosmic equivalent of dropping your glass of water in a perfectly quiet room, because it kind of forces everyone to stop and go, wait. Yeah, where is everybody? Fermi was no conspiracy theorist or UFO chaser. He was a Nobel Prize-winning physicist, the kind of guy who could calculate radioactive decay in his head, while also remembering what he had for breakfast. So when he asked that question, it hit differently. Here's the thing, by all logical accounts, our galaxy alone should be absolutely teeming with life, not just microbial slime or cosmic bacteria, but intelligent civilizations. Civilizations that could, at least in theory, send radio signals, build spacecraft, or make their own versions of cat videos. And yet, nothing. Radio silence. The vast, echoing quiet of a universe that doesn't seem interested in saying, hello. Let's take a second to break that down. The Milky Way has something like 400 billion stars. If even a small fraction of those stars have planets, and an even smaller fraction have planets that are habitable, then, statistically, there should be hundreds of thousands, maybe even millions, of intelligent civilizations out there. The numbers are almost annoyingly optimistic. That's what led another scientist, Frank Drake, to come up with something called the Drake equation. It's basically the universe's most overcomplicated math riddle, trying to estimate the number of civilizations capable of communication. And depending on how hopeful or cynical you are, the answer could be anything from millions to we're literally it. Which brings us right back to Fermi's haunting little question. If they're out there, why don't we see them? Where are the galactic tourists? Where are the interstellar neighbors asking to borrow some sugar or hydrogen? Now, before we go deeper, let's set the tone straight. This isn't one of those scary aliens are hiding in your backyard stories. This is sleepy science. We're not here to panic about abductions or glowing saucers in the desert. We're here to gently spiral into existential dread in a cozy, relaxing way, because the Fermi Paradox isn't about fear. It's about curiosity and patience and the beautiful, strange quiet of an entire universe that might just be empty. Okay, so what are the possible explanations? Scientists have spent decades trying to answer this, and none of them agree, which is both comforting and slightly concerning. One theory is called the rare Earth hypothesis. It suggests that intelligent life is just ... really hard to make, like ridiculously hard. Maybe Earth is a cosmic lottery ticket, a 1 in a trillion combo of chemistry, luck, and sheer chaos that created conscious beings who can build iPhones and argue on the internet. If that's true, then we're basically the universe's overachieving accidenta biological fluke floating around a pretty average star in a pretty average galaxy. Another explanation is that life is common, but intelligence isn't. Maybe there are oceans full of alien jellyfish somewhere, or fungal forests glowing under a distant red sun, but none of them are sitting around building telescopes or launching satellites. Think about it. Earth existed for almost 4 billion years before humans even showed up. For most of that time, it was just bacteria and squishy ocean creatures living their best lives. So maybe the universe is full of life, just not the kind that worries about taxes or existentialism. And then there's the darker theory, the one that says civilizations do emerge, but they don't last. This one's called the Great Filter. Basically, it's the idea that somewhere along the timeline, from primitive goo to spacefaring species, there's a massive hurdle, something so big that almost no one survives it. Maybe it's nuclear war, maybe it's climate collapse, maybe it's just boredom, and civilizations eventually stop caring. Either way, it's a cosmic bouncer, keeping almost everyone out of the interstellar club. So the scary part is, if the Great Filter exists, we either already passed it, or it's still ahead of us. And if it's still ahead of us, yeah, that's a little less cozy. But there's another, more hopeful explanation. Maybe the aliens are out there, and they're just ... ignoring us. Maybe Earth is like the toddler screaming at the grown-ups table, and the galactic adults are politely pretending not to notice. Maybe they're watching, studying, waiting for us to mature a little before saying hi. Or maybe, just maybe, they're hiding because they know contact can be dangerous. This is called the dark forest hypothesis. It imagines the universe as a dark forest full of silent hunters. Every civilization is like a camper with a flashlight, and anyone who turns theirs on risks attracting something worse, so everyone stays quiet forever. But don't worry, we'll leave the creepy forest imagery behind in a second, because the truth is, we don't know, and that's kind of what makes it beautiful. The Fermi Paradox doesn't give us answers, it gives us perspective. It reminds us how small we are, how fragile, and how rare conscious life might be. When you look up at the night sky, every star could be a sun with its own worlds, its own stories, its own maybe alien cats, or maybe it's just light from billions of years ago, shining through the void to keep us company. All right, let's float a little deeper into this mystery in the next part, because we've only scratched the surface, and the universe is a very patient place. Part 2, the cosmic quiet. Maybe they're just not answering hey again. Welcome back to Sleepy Science. If you're still awake, congratulations. You've already outlasted most of the stars in our local cluster. If you're drifting off, that's fine too. You can fall asleep to the gentle hum of the universe, pretending not to exist. So, we left off with the idea that maybe the aliens are out there, but for one reason or another, they're just not talking. And tonight, we're going to keep floating through that silence. Let's start with one of the more charming ideas. scientists have come up with the zoo hypothesis. Yeah? Like an actual zoo. It basically suggests that we humans are like the weird new species in a massive cosmic wildlife reserve, and the aliens are the zookeepers. They're aware of us, watching us, maybe even studying us, but they've agreed not to interfere. Kind of like how biologists try not to disturb animals in the wild. Imagine some super advanced civilization looking at Earth and thinking, ah yes, the primitive ones are discovering fire and arguing about pineapple on pizza. Let's give them a few thousand years before we say hi. It's oddly comforting and also mildly humiliating. But if you think about it, it makes sense. Any species that's figured out interstellar travel probably also figured out patience, and we, as a species, are not exactly subtle. We send out radio signals, launch satellites with our coordinates, and beam TV shows into space. For all we know, some alien civilization has already watched friends and decided we're not worth the trouble. Then there's the simulation hypothesis. This one's where science takes a slow detour into philosophy. The idea is simple, or maybe horrifying, depending on your bedtime mood. What if none of this is real? What if we're living inside a highly detailed simulation, and the reason we haven't found aliens is because they were never programmed into the game? Maybe the cosmic silence is just the developers saving processing power. Maybe the rest of the universe is a beautifully rendered backdrop, but no one's coded in any other civilizations because, well, they didn't need to. And before you roll your eyes, remember that serious scientists like Nick Bostrom and Elon Musk have actually entertained this idea. Musk once said, "There's a 1 in billions chance that this is base reality," which sounds cool, until you realize that means we might just be a slightly laggy part of someone's cosmic computer experiment. But honestly, that might explain a lot, like why your Wi-Fi keeps dropping for no reason now. Let's float to something more down to earth, or, well, galaxy level, realistic. It's entirely possible that intelligent life is common, but communication is just really hard. The distances involved are absurd. Even if an alien civilization 10,000 light years away sent us a "Hey, what's up?" message, it wouldn't get here until the year 12,000, and by the time we replied, they'd probably have evolved into pure energy or gone extinct. Space is big. Soul-crushingly big. So big that light, the fastest thing in the universe, takes years just to crawl from one star to the next. So maybe the silence isn't a mystery at all. Maybe we're just missing each other's calls. We could be living in the middle of a cosmic group chat. It's just that everyone's on mute now. There's another idea, and it's actually kind of poetic. Maybe we're looking in the wrong way. Humans have only been capable of detecting radio waves for a century or so. That's nothing compared to the age of the universe, about 13.8 billion years. So maybe intelligent life existed millions of years ago. Maybe there were galactic empires out there, but they came and went long before we ever crawled out of the ocean. Their cities are dust. Their signals faded into the background. Noise of the cosmos, and all that's left are echoes buried deep in the static we call the cosmic microwave background. In other words, maybe the universe already had its golden age of civilizations. We just missed the party. But here's the twist. Maybe we are early. There's a theory called the cosmic timing argument. It suggests that maybe the universe just hasn't had enough time yet for life to really spread. Stars are still forming, planets are still cooling, and the conditions for complex life are only just beginning to align. In that case, Earth isn't a cosmic leftover, it's the first spark, the beginning of something that might eventually fill the universe with noise, color, and yes, plenty of bad reality TV shows. If that's true, then we're not the last. We're the first, the pioneers of consciousness in a still young universe, and that's kind of beautiful. Let's pause for a second and think about that. For all our curiosity, confusion, and chaos, humans are the only known species to look up at the stars and wonder, to ask where everyone else is. Maybe that's the point. Maybe consciousness isn't about finding others, maybe it's about realizing that we are the universe looking back at itself, trying to make sense of its own reflection. Yeah, it's a little cheesy, but that's what happens when you talk about aliens long enough. Alright, before you drift off completely, here's a sleepy little thought to end this part. If the universe really is quiet, maybe that's not a bad thing. Maybe silence is its natural state, and our job isn't to fill it with noise, but to listen to the hum of the planets, the whisper of the stars, and the faint echo of a question first asked at a lunch table 70 years ago. Where is everybody? Let's keep floating with that thought, because in the next part, we'll explore what the Fermi Paradox says about us, our future, our fears, and what it means to be the only voice in a silent cosmos. Part 3, The Mirror in the Stars. What the silence says about us. Hey guys, welcome back to Sleepy Science. If you're still awake, you've officially made it farther than most human civilizations probably will, so congrats on that. Now that we've drifted through theories about where everyone might be or why they might be ignoring us, let's turn the telescope around for a bit. What if the Fermi Paradox isn't really about them at all, but about us? Because here's the thing, every time humans ask, where is everybody? What we're really asking is, why are we alone? And that question says more about human psychology than it does about alien sociology. Let's start with the idea of cosmic loneliness. Humans are social creatures. We've evolved to connect, to belong, to talk endlessly. And when we look up and see infinite stars with no one waving back, it messes with that wiring. It's like being at the biggest party ever thrown, but nobody's talking, no music, no laughter, just endless space and the sound of your own breathing in a little metal helmet. That silence can feel personal, like maybe the universe is ghosting us. So naturally, we invent stories to explain it. Some of those stories are comforting, the "we're too early" one, or the "they're watching from afar" version. Others are more tragic, like the idea that every intelligent civilization eventually wipes itself out before making it off its planet, which, honestly, tracks. That brings us to what's called the Great Filter. It's one of the darker ideas in the Fermi Paradox family tree. The basic version goes like this. Somewhere between the birth of life and the rise of interstellar civilizations, there's a step that's nearly impossible to pass. Maybe life rarely starts. Maybe intelligent life rarely survives. Maybe technology always turns self-destructive. Whatever it is, this filter stops most civilizations from ever getting far enough to say hello. It's like a cosmic doorman saying, "Sorry, You can't come into the Galaxy Club, and if that's true, it raises two unsettling possibilities. Option A, the Great Filter is behind us. We already made it past the hardest step, the leap from single-celled organisms to intelligent life. That would make us rare, maybe even unique, kind of like the universe's weird little miracle. Option B, the Great Filter is ahead of us. And if that's the case, well, yikes. It means something terrible tends to happen to civilizations, right? After they reach our level of progress: nuclear war, climate collapse, artificial intelligence gone rogue. Take your pick. So maybe the reason the galaxy seems empty is because civilizations don't last long enough to fill it. They burn bright, they build too much, and then they disappear, like cosmic fireflies, blinking out one by one. But before you start picturing the end of humanity, let's pull back, because even if the Great Filter exists, it's not all doom and gloom. It might actually be a reminder that what we have here, this tiny, fragile window of existence, is precious. We're here, conscious, aware, curious. The universe finally evolved something that could look back at itself and say, wow, that's pretty. And maybe that's enough. Maybe we don't need to meet aliens to feel less alone. Maybe it's enough to know that the atoms in our bodies were once part of stars that exploded billions of years ago, which means, in a way, the universe already knows us. We're literally made of its memories. So yeah, maybe the Fermi Paradox isn't the universe ignoring us. Maybe it's the universe reminding us, you're part of me. You are the company you're looking for. Still, humans being humans, we can't resist trying to solve it. And our attempts say a lot about us, too. For example, we keep assuming aliens would even want to communicate the way we do, through sound, through words, through light signals. But what if they've evolved past that? What if they communicate through gravity waves, or quantum entanglement, or interpretive dance of plasma clouds? Who knows? Maybe they tried contacting us millions of years ago and realized our species wasn't quite ready to handle an interstellar text message. After all, we still argue over whether Pluto counts as a planet. And what if the real issue isn't them, but our attention span? We've only been seriously searching for alien signals for, what, 60 years? That's a cosmic blink. It's like listening for 1 second and declaring the forest empty. Maybe the signals are there, faint and slow, whispering across the void. We're just too impatient to notice. Here's something else to think about. Maybe the Fermi Paradox feels so strange because it contradicts our favorite human story. Progress. We like to believe everything always gets better, smarter, faster. We assume civilizations naturally grow, explore, and expand. But what if that's not how evolution works at the galactic scale? Maybe the smartest civilizations don't build empires. Maybe they turn inward. They master peace, sustainability, and quiet contemplation. Instead of interstellar colonization, they don't conquer galaxies, they meditate through them. Imagine a planet where technology advanced so far that they realized the ultimate goal wasn't expansion, but stillness. They learned how to exist in perfect balance with their world, without burning it out. And then they just stayed there, happy, silent. If that's true, then maybe we've been mistaking silence for absence. The galaxy could be full of life, just very calm, very enlightened life. And honestly, that sounds kind of nice. So, what does all this mean for us, the the loudest species in the neighborhood. Maybe it's a cosmic mirror test. Maybe the Fermi Paradox is the universe's way of asking, can you handle being alone long enough to deserve company? Because think about it, we've barely figured out how to live with each other. We fight over resources, over borders, over things as trivial as social media opinions. And yet, we expect some wise, benevolent alien species to come hold our hand and explain everything. Maybe the silence isn't punishment, it's patience. The universe is giving us space to grow up first. And here's a sleepy little thought before you drift off. Maybe the reason we can't find other civilizations is because we're not supposed to yet. Maybe the universe is like a classroom. Every species gets its own quiet exam period. No talking, no cheating, just figure out your stuff first, and when we're ready, then we'll meet the others who passed. For now, though, we're still taking the test, still learning how to be kind, how to be curious, and how to listen to the silence without panicking. So, until the final bell rings, we float here, small, wandering, and slightly confused, in a universe that might be full of life, or none at all. Either way, it's the best mystery we could ever fall asleep to. Part 4, when the universe answers the dream of first contact. Hey, there, still awake. That's impressive. Most people drift off somewhere between the great filter and cosmic loneliness. But you're still here, floating through the void with me. So let's pick up where we left off. We've talked about the silence, the filters, the mirror the universe holds up to us. But tonight, let's let ourselves dream a little. Let's imagine what happens when the silence finally breaks. Picture this. It's a normal Tuesday. The world's half asleep. The internet's arguing about something dumb. And some radio telescope in Australia suddenly hears a pattern. It's faint, repeating, not random. At first, everyone assumes it's interference, a satellite, a glitch, a very caffeinated intern messing up the data. But then another observatory picks it up, and another, and for the first time in human history, the numbers line up. It's not us, it's not nature, it's someone else. Here's the funny thing. Though we like to imagine this would be a cinematic moment, everyone uniting, tears streaming, dramatic music swelling, in reality, it would probably be chaos. Governments would panic. Conspiracy channels would melt down. Half the planet would call it fake. The other half would think it's the apocalypse. And somewhere, a meme would be born within 5 minutes. But under all that noise, a strange quiet would grow. The realization that we were right, or maybe wrong, all along, that we were never really alone. Now, scientists have actually thought about this. SETI, the search for extraterrestrial intelligence, has protocols for what to do if we detect a real signal. Step 1. Verify. Step 2. Inform the world. Step 3. Try to decode whatever message we just received. Simple, right? Except decoding something made by a completely alien mind would be like trying to translate whale songs with a Rubik's Cube. What if their language isn't sound or math or light, but something we can't even perceive, like electromagnetic art or consciousness-based data transfer? What if the message is more like a galactic postcard that says, "Hi, we exist. Don't freak out." It could take decades or centuries to understand even one line. And here's the twist. What if we already have the message? We just don't recognize it. Maybe it's encoded in the structure of space itself. Maybe in the spin of particles, or the symmetry of natural constants, or something buried in the cosmic microwave. Background: what if the universe's very design is a quiet signature, an elegant made by someone hidden in plain sight? If that's true, then we've been staring at the message every night and calling it stars. Still, let's say one day we actually manage to talk. The question then becomes, what do we say back? Do we introduce ourselves? Do we send math, music, a playlist, maybe a global selfie? Or do we just send coordinates and hope they don't turn out to be space colonizers with bad intentions? Carl Sagan once said we might want to think twice before shouting into the void. He compared it to yelling your address into a dark forest without knowing what's out there, which, to be fair, is something humans would do. But maybe that's part of what makes us, hopeful, reckless, curious to a fault. Now, let's slow down a bit. Imagine the emotional side. Think about how it would feel to go outside one night, look up, and know that somewhere, someone's looking back. A civilization hundreds of light years away, maybe with their own oceans, mountains, and bedtime stories. Maybe they even have a version of us, lying awake, wondering the same thing. That thought alone could change everything. It wouldn't matter what language they speak or what they look like, just knowing that consciousness happened more than once. That would rewrite our place in the universe. Religion, philosophy, science, all of it would have to expand. We'd have to stop seeing ourselves as the center of the story and start seeing ourselves as part of a much bigger one. And weirdly, that might make us kinder, because if life is that rare, that fragile, that miraculous, how could we keep fighting over tiny borders on a single blue dot? Of course, there's another version of this, one that's not about communication, but discovery. Maybe we find the ruins of a civilization long gone, a dead world orbiting a dying star, with the remnants of cities carved into the dust. No message, no survivors, just silence and relics. And that would hit even harder, wouldn't it? Proof that we're not alone, but also proof that no one lasts forever. It would be a mirror again, a reminder that we, too, could vanish someday. That maybe the universe's real message is simple. Everything passes, but existence itself continues. Now let's zoom out one more time. Let's talk about the bigger picture, not just communication, but connection. If life really exists out there, maybe it's not meant to find us. Maybe it already has, in the only way it can, through the physics that birthed us, the chemistry that built our cells, and the stars that exploded to give us carbon. We don't need a transmission from Alpha Centauri to know we belong to the cosmos. We're proof of it every time we breathe. Maybe that's the quiet truth behind the Fermi Paradox. The reason no one's saying hello is because the universe already whispered you're part of me billions of years ago. So, if we ever do hear that alien signal, maybe it won't be a conversation starter. Maybe it'll just be an echo, a gentle reminder that across impossible distances, consciousness found a way to repeat itself. And maybe, just maybe, that's all we ever needed to hear. So close your eyes. Imagine a sky full of stars, each one a heartbeat in the great sleeping body of the cosmos. Maybe some of them pulse with life, maybe none do. Either way, we're here listening, learning to be quiet, learning to be ready. Because one day, when the universe finally answers, we should probably be calm enough to listen. Part 5. The future we might build. Humanity among the stars. Hey, again, still here, still floating through the void together. If you've made it this far, congratulations, you're officially more patient than most people on Earth. So, let's keep drifting. We've looked at the silence, the possible answers, and the dream of first contact. Now, let's imagine what happens if we become the ones who fill that silence. What if humanity decides, fine, no one's talking, we'll take it from here. Let's start small or big. Depending on how you look at it, the sun. It's our cosmic campfire, warm, bright, and completely indifferent to our existence. But one day, that friendly fireball will swell into a red giant and cook everything we've ever known. So, yeah, we might want a backup plan. And that's where the idea of interstellar expansion comes in. It's not about ego, or conquest, or manifest destiny in space. It's about survival and curiosity. We're explorers by default. Even if it kills us slowly, we'd still go. Step 1 is likely something called the Dyson sphere. Imagine surrounding the sun with a swarm of satellites that collect every ounce of its energy. Not a solid shell, that would be insane, but trillions of small collectors orbiting like metallic bees around a honeycomb of light. That much energy could power entire worlds, simulate universes, or run a galaxy-sized AI that spends its free time trying to figure out why humans used to argue about pineapple on pizza. It's absurdly ambitious, sure, but compared to what the universe can do, it's just a spark. Next, we'd probably terraform Mars, Europa, Titan, all those pretty but deadly vacation spots. We'd give Mars an atmosphere, melt its ice, maybe import some algae to start a photosynthesis party. We'd build floating habitats above Venus, where the air pressure isn't lethal, and we'd drill into the ice crusts of Europa, looking for alien microbes swimming in its subsurface ocean, because of course we would. Humans find a freezing, lifeless wasteland and say, let's move in, now. Here's the weird thing. If we ever spread beyond Earth, the word human might stop meaning what it does now. Think about it. Generations born on Mars will grow up under weaker gravity, with longer days and red skies. Their bodies, their cultures, even their sense of time will change. Give it a few thousand years, and you'll have multiple branches of humanity. Martians, maybe asteroid dwellers adapted to microgravity. Not aliens, exactly, but close. Our descendants might look back at Earth the way we look at fossils, with nostalgia and disbelief that life ever survived there. And yet, even then, even in the farthest corner of the Milky Way, someone will still glance up at the stars and wonder if they're alone. That question seems wired into us. Maybe it's not something to answer, but something to carry. Let's talk about time for a second. When we think about the future, we imagine a few thousand years ahead, maybe a million, if we're feeling bold, but the universe has time frames that make that look like a coffee break. In a billion years, the sun brightens and Earth becomes uninhabitable. In 10 billion, the sun dies and leaves behind a white dwarf. In a trillion years, most stars are gone. And in the unimaginable cold after that, when the last light flickers out, who knows? Maybe life will find another way to exist in simulations, black hole energy fields, or quantum networks drifting through the dark. If consciousness is information, maybe we'll figure out how to store it somewhere permanent. Maybe we'll outlast the stars themselves. It's hard to say, but comforting to imagine. And here's a thought. What if we are already part of that story, just at the beginning? What if other civilizations went through this same process, spread through their galaxies, then faded or merged into something beyond our comprehension? Maybe advanced life doesn't vanish. Maybe it evolves into forms we can't detect, like the universe itself waking up. Maybe dark matter isn't just missing mass. Maybe it's what happens when civilizations reach a level of existence so efficient they become part of the fabric of space-time, a cosmic retirement plan. So while we look up and see emptiness, they might be looking back, not with eyes or words, but through the laws of physics themselves. Still, even if that's not true, even if we never meet anyone else or outlast the stars, we've already done something incredible. We took atoms that formed inside a dying star and built cities, poems, and telescopes. We figured out what the universe is made of, and then built machines to We created music, art, and memes about our own cosmic insignificance. And that's not nothing. That's consciousness doing what it does best, turning chaos into meaning, even if no one's listening. So maybe that's the real ending to the Fermi Paradox. Not that there's no one out there, not that we're doomed, but that we're early, the universe's first dreamers, building light in the dark. Maybe we're the aliens future beings will whisper about. Maybe we're the myth someone else will find, etched into stardust, saying, "We were here. We wondered, and we tried." If you're still awake, congratulations again. You've made it through billions of years of cosmic history and existential musing. If your brain feels pleasantly heavy, that's the idea. So close your eyes now. Picture the stars, every one of them burning quietly, doing what it was born to do, just like you, just like all of us. Drift off, knowing that, in this vast, silent universe, you are somehow part of the noise, the light, and the wonder of it all. Part 6. The end of everything, and the quiet beyond. Hey again. Stargazer. You floated through time, galaxies, and theories that kept entire physics departments awake at night. Now we're heading somewhere slower, colder, and quieter. To the end of everything? Don't worry, it's not dramatic. The universe doesn't explode in fireworks. It fades like the sound of a song, slowly disappearing into silence. So, let's dim the lights in our minds, take a slow breath, and drift to the far future. First, picture the universe right now. A messy, glowing teenager, full of energy, stars still being born, galaxies colliding like cosmic bumper cars. It's vibrant, loud, full of light. But time is the great flattening force. Everything burns out eventually, and the universe, being patient to a fault, doesn't mind waiting. Stars like our sun will swell into red giants and then shrink down into white dwarfs, little glowing embers that fade over billions of years. The massive ones, they'll go supernova, collapse, and leave behind black holes, space's version of bottomless pits that keep everything they touch. At first, there will still be light, but slowly, that light will dim. New stars won't form anymore, because the gas and dust needed for them will be used up. Galaxies will stop shining, and the night sky, the one we think of as full of stars, will go dark. This is the degenerate era, a time when all that's left are white dwarfs, neutron stars, and black holes. And yeah, the name fits. The universe at that point is kind of deadbeat, slouching on its cosmic couch, surrounded by the leftovers of better times. White dwarfs will cool into black. Dwarfs, invisible lumps of matter that don't shine at all. Black holes will sit quietly, swallowing whatever drifts too close. And galaxies. There'll be ghosts, thin spreads of orphan stars wandering through expanding space. Speaking of expansion, that's still happening. In fact, it's accelerating, thanks to dark energy. Galaxies are moving farther and farther apart, faster and faster. Eventually, each one becomes isolated, alone in an expanding bubble of nothing from inside any one of them. It will look like there's nothing else out there, just a lonely island of dead stars in an endless sea of darkness. And after trillions of years, not even that will remain, because black holes, the great hoarders, don't last forever either. They slowly leak energy through something called Hawking radiation. A process so slow that even calling it slow is an understatement. Imagine waiting for a cup of coffee to cool down for 10 to the power of 67 years. Eventually, every black hole will evaporate, releasing the last faint flickers of radiation into the void. That will be the final fireworks of the cosmos. After that, no stars, no galaxies, no light, no matter, just cold. Thin particles drifting farther apart forever, the heat death of the universe. Now heat death sounds dramatic, but it's really just entropy's victory lap. Everything has evened out. Energy is perfectly distributed. There are no more gradients, no more differences, and therefore, no more change. It's a cosmic equilibrium, still, silent. Nothing can happen because there's nothing left to happen with. If consciousness still exists by then, uploaded minds, machine networks, or some post-physical form of awareness, it'll be floating in total darkness. No stars to look at, no planets to stand on, just pure, empty space. It's sad, in a way, but also peaceful, because every beginning has an end, and maybe every end is just waiting for a new beginning. That's the other possibility. Rebirth. Some cosmologists think that the universe might not end permanently. Maybe, after stretching beyond its limits, it snaps back in a big crunch. Everything collapses inward, condenses, and boom, a new Big Bang begins, like cosmic breathing, expansion, contraction, and infinite inhale and exhale. Others suggest that what we call nothing might not be stable. Quantum fluctuations, tiny blips of randomness, could create a new universe inside that emptiness. A little bubble of space-time that inflates, grows, and becomes its own cosmos. And if that's true, maybe that's what happened before our Big Bang. Maybe we're just one ripple in an infinite sea of universes, one dream in an endless sleep. Now, here's the weird thought. That makes physicists lose sleep. If universes can pop into existence, maybe they do it all the time, constantly, everywhere. Infinite little bubbles, each with its own laws of physics, expanding and dying in their own timelines. Most would collapse instantly, but a few like ours would last. That would mean the universe never really dies. It just keeps changing costumes. Each time, the constants shift. Gravity's a bit stronger here, weaker there. Maybe some universes have no stars, just dark energy. Maybe some are entirely made of light. And maybe, just maybe, one of them gives rise to life again. If that's true, then nothing ever truly ends. every atom that once formed you, me, or anyone who's ever lived will someday be recycled into a new cosmos, a new story, a new us, in a form we can't even imagine. It's not reincarnation. Exactly, it's more like continuity, the universe reusing its own code. And when you think about it like that, even the heat death doesn't sound so final, just a long nap between universes. So when we look up at the night sky and see stars that have already died, we're seeing the past whispering to the present, a quiet reminder that everything is temporary and everything returns. Maybe that's why people find the idea of space so calming. It's terrifying, sure, but it's also the ultimate reset button. No matter what happens, the universe has time to start again, and us. We're lucky enough to be here now, in the bright, brief window when the cosmos is still awake, still glowing, still curious, still asking questions through us. So breathe in, look at the stars, even if they're ancient light, and remember, the universe is big, but it's also patient. It ends gently, and maybe, just maybe, it dreams. Part 7, The Dreaming Universe. Consciousness in the cosmic quiet. Hey again, traveler. If you're still awake, congratulations. You've officially outlasted several galaxies, 3 black holes, and possibly the heat death of the universe. But don't worry, things are about to get even quieter tonight. We're floating through one of the strangest questions in science and philosophy. If the universe ends, does consciousness end with it? Or does someone, keep dreaming? Let's start small. Your mind, that mysterious, buzzing cloud of electricity inside your skull. Right now, it's firing neurons, building thoughts, and somehow listening to me talk about the end of everything. It's weirdly poetic, a small brain sitting on a small planet, thinking about infinity. But here's the twist, that brain of yours isn't separate from the universe. It's part of it, made from the same atoms that once lived in stars. Your calcium, your oxygen, your carbon, all forged in stellar cores before drifting through space for billions of years. In other words, you're literally the universe thinking about itself. You're stardust with opinions. That idea isn't new. Philosophers have been saying it forever, but scientists are starting to take it seriously too. There's a theory called panpsychism, which basically says that consciousness might not be exclusive to brains. Instead, it might be a fundamental feature of the universe itself, like gravity, or space, or time. Not every object is thinking, of course, but every particle might have a faint shimmer of awareness. If that's true, then consciousness doesn't emerge from matter, it is matter. Everything is alive in its own quiet, microscopic way. It's a comforting thought, in a strange cosmic sense, because if the universe itself has even a flicker of awareness, maybe it never truly dies. Maybe it just changes its form of dreaming in our era. That dream looks like stars, planets, and people in the far future. It could look like glowing black hole radiation, or quantum ripples whispering through empty space, and in the absolute end, when there's nothing left but silence, maybe that silence itself is awareness, the universe in deep meditation, pure stillness, no movement, no noise, just eternal rest. Some physicists, like Roger Penn, have suggested something called orchestrated objective reduction, which is a fancy way of saying that consciousness might actually come from quantum activity inside your brain. If that's true, and quantum processes are everywhere in every atom, then consciousness might be more like a property of the universe that pops up wherever it can, a temporary spark, a flash of self-awareness in the long dark. When you die, the spark fades, but the energy doesn't vanish, it just disperses, returning to the same quantum sea that birthed it. So maybe you never really go away, you just rejoin the background hum. Let's take that one step further. Imagine the universe as a vast mind. Every galaxy, every star, every life form, a single neuron firing in its cosmic brain. Each moment, each idea, each love, each death, a tiny pulse of thought, and we, humanity, are one of those pulses. Brief, bright, and curious. Asking questions, making noise, reaching for the stars, then fading as the next thought takes our place. If you think of it like that, the end of the universe isn't a tragedy. It's just the mind of creation exhaling. There's another theory, the simulation hypothesis. Maybe we're part of a vast digital construct, not a universe in the physical sense, but one running on code. If that's true, the heat death might just be a server shutdown, and our consciousness, maybe it's data being stored, archived, or rebooted somewhere else. Of course, we don't know, and that's kind of the point. The universe is the ultimate mystery box, one that never opens all the way. But whatever the truth, it's oddly calming to realize how temporary and eternal everything feels at once. Think about this. When you fall asleep, your conscious mind goes dark, time disappears, and when you wake up, it's like reality turns back on. Now imagine that on a cosmic scale, the universe falls asleep in its heat death, and then, at some impossible moment later, wakes up again in a new Big Bang. Different time, different place, same dreamer. That's the eternal return. The idea that everything eventually comes back around, and maybe, just maybe, you'll be there again. Not as you, but as something. A new pattern of atoms, a new flicker of awareness. Another moment in the infinite dream. If that sounds far-fetched, well, so did atoms, once, and galaxies, and the idea that space itself could expand. Science and philosophy have this funny relationship. They chase the same mystery from opposite sides. One with math, the other with meaning, and somewhere in between those two, you get this. A quiet little bedtime thought about existence, consciousness, and everything. So maybe the question isn't, is the universe alive? Maybe it's, is it dreaming? Because, in the end, the difference doesn't matter much. Whether we're thoughts in a cosmic mind, or random patterns in the void, the result is the same, we exist. For a little while, we feel, think, and wonder, and that's enough. So, as we drift through this final stretch of space, let's just imagine the universe asleep, stars dimming one by one, galaxies falling silent, until all that's left is the soft hum of eternity. And in that stillness, maybe the next dream begins. Part 8. The Cosmic Lullaby. The universe breathes out, hey, you're still here, that's nice. The stars have faded a little since we started, but there's still enough light left to whisper one last story before sleep. You've drifted with me through galaxies and paradoxes, watched civilizations rise and fall, and peered into the quiet end of everything. So now, let's slow it all down. Let's just float softly in the space between thoughts. The Fermi Paradox asked a simple question. If the universe is so big, where is everyone? And maybe, after all this time, the answer isn't out there. Maybe it's in here, in the stillness of your mind, in the hum of your own existence. Because maybe everyone, was never meant to be a crowd. Maybe it was just you, a single consciousness, wandering through infinite forms, meeting itself again and again under different suns. Think of it this way. If the universe were a single breath, then we are part of that exhale, temporary, fleeting, but essential, and one day, when it inhales again, something new will rise. New stars, new minds, new wonders that will also ask, where is everyone? And somewhere, maybe faintly, our echoes will still be there, in background radiation, in decaying starlight, in the memory of atoms that once formed us. That's the quiet beauty of it. Nothing is ever truly lost, it just changes state. Let's rewind time in your head. Galaxies collapsing backward, stars unexploding, planets reassembling from dust, the universe shrinking tighter and tighter until everything, every thought, every life, every sound fits inside one glowing point. And then, silence. The kind of silence so complete, you can almost hear it breathe. That's the beginning and the end. The same moment, the same infinite pause. People sometimes say they're afraid of the universe ending. But think about what the end really means. It's not destruction, it's not lost, it's rest. The cosmos has been awake for nearly 14 billion years. It's been expanding, spinning, exploding, and rebuilding non-stop. Maybe it deserves to close its eyes to sleep. And just like you, it will. Wake up again someday, reborn, renewed, ready to dream a little more. There's a quiet comfort in that. You and the universe, both made of the same stuff. Both temporary, both infinite, in your own strange way. Every heartbeat is a tiny echo of the first explosion. Every breath, a small reenactment of expansion and collapse. And when you sleep, you mimic the universe's rhythm, the pulsing between light and dark, motion and stillness, existence and dream. So if you're listening to this right now, and your eyes are starting to grow heavy, just let the universe do the same. Imagine the galaxies dimming one by one, like candles snuffed out by the wind. Imagine the Milky Way fading to a soft mist of starlight. Imagine yourself floating through that quiet, weightless, peaceful. No need to reach anywhere anymore, because everything you've ever known was part of the same endless pattern, the cosmic lullaby that never stops singing. When the Fermi Paradox asked, "Where is everyone?" maybe the answer was simple. Everyone is here, right now, in the atoms that built you, in the stars that birthed them, in the energy that hums beneath it all. The universe isn't empty, it's just resting, listening to its own echo, and you're part of that sound. The quiet murmur of matter, remembering itself. So close your eyes now. The galaxies are drifting, the universe is breathing slow and deep, and you're safe, a tiny flicker of starlight, floating in the calm, cradled by the infinite. You've wandered far enough for one night. Let it all fade, let it all sleep, because out there, in the dark, the cosmos is still dreaming, and somewhere inside that dream, you are too.